Allah and me love him. When he goes on the battlefield, he never comes back except with victory. So everyone thought, is it me? Is it me? Is it me? Everyone started thinking it's them. The next day he gave the banner to the Imam the moment after he had put the saliva. When he put the saliva, he gave him the banner straight away. Sa'd ibn Abi Waqqas said, Ali ibn Abi Talib ran out alone. Alone. He said, the rest of us haven't even worn our armors. We're still on the ground sitting. He said, Ali ibn Abi Talib just ran out alone towards the front. And he stood there. Marhab that night, the Jewish warrior, had seen in a dream that he would be killed by a lion. But he himself did not understand the meaning. I said, I'm going to be killed by a lion, but what does it mean when it says lion? Of course, one of Imam's names is Haydar. So when he came out, Marhab came out and introduced himself. And then the Imam came forward and said, I am the one whose mother named him Haydar, which means I am the one whose mother named him the lion. As soon as he said that, he not only annihilated Marhab, he annihilated his brothers and annihilated the opposition at that time. Abu Dhar said, I saw Ali ibn Abi Talib as a 29-year-old destroy the opposition at the Battle of Khaybar. And then after that, what did he say? The narration states that after Khaybar, what was the next incident for Abu Dhar? At the Battle of Tabuk. Why? Tabuk, Imam Ali's only war where he didn't fight. Because Rasulullah left him in charge of Medina. Do you know why he left him in charge of Medina? He's already telling the people, when I'm out of Medina, only one man can look after Medina. It's an indication. He's telling them that if I die, this is the only man who can look after this area. I'm leaving him behind. Abu Dhar al-Ghafari, when he's going towards Tabuk to fight the Christians at the time, Abu Dhar al-Ghafari was on a camel. The rest were on camels. The problem was, Abu Dhar al-Ghafari's camel was the laziest camel any human being will ever have. As in, this camel wants to stop to drink water. Drink water. Rasulullah with the horses and camels are moving. Abu Dhar, where is he? His camel has stopped to drink water. Okay, let's continue. Abu Dhar, where is he? Until the army kept going at a pace, Abu Dhar al-Ghafari's camel could not continue. When they reached the area before Tabuk, some of the companions said, Ya Rasulullah, he always praise Abu Dhar al-Ghafari. You say Abu Dhar al-Ghafari's taqwa is the same as Prophet Jesus. We have a hadith. That Abu Dhar al-Ghafari's taqwa, his consciousness of Allah is the same as Jesus, son of Mary. Exactly the same. So they said, Ya Rasulullah, he's probably giving you an image. Here we've gone for war, he's gone back home, and look. Within a distance they see Abu Dhar al-Ghafari coming on his camel and suddenly falling. When he fell by Rasulullah, Rasulullah quickly said, go and get him water quickly, I can tell he's thirsty. So they said to him, Abu Dhar, what's wrong? When he woke up, he said, Ya Rasulullah, as you know, my camel was languishing behind, and my camel would drink and drink. On our way I was thirsty. I was about to take a sip of water, then I thought, how dare I drink when my Prophet may be thirsty? How do I know that my Prophet has drunk water? Maybe he hasn't. And I'm willing to drink some water and possibly Rasulullah has died of the heat of this desert? I'm not going to drink. I'm going to continue and continue. And if it means I die in the way, I'll die. But I want to see that my Prophet has drunk water. Only now that I've seen you drink water, Ya Rasulullah, I am happy with what I did. Notice that level of piety of Abu Dhar al-Ghafari. And that's why Rasulullah at that moment would be sad when he'd say, lonely was Abu Dhar in this world. Lonely when he was alive, lonely when he dies, and lonely when he'll be resurrected. Imagine. And truly that was a prophecy for Abu Dhar. Do you know why? Because you found Abu Dhar al-Ghafari on the day of Ghadir. We have narrations on the day of Ghadir that when the Prophet said, Alastu awla bikum min anfusikum, and the reply was yes, and he said, Man kuntu mawla fahada aliyu mawla. When he said that, he then asked Abu Dhar al-Ghafari, get up and recite an adhan, but include Ashhadu anna Aliyan waliyullah in the adhan. There is a narration. Now, of course, the debate over the narration, I can discuss in another lecture. That would need an hour to discuss it. But notice he tells Abu Dhar, not somebody else. He says, Abu Dhar, you go up and you recite the adhan, and now that I've said, Man kuntu mawla fahada aliyu mawla, now I want to hear it in the adhan, Ashhadu anna Aliyan waliyullah. And that's why you find that Abu Dhar, like Salman we discussed, like Miqdar we discussed, like Ammar we discussed in the previous nights, that Abu Dhar is the one who was with Imam Ali at Saqifah. After Saqifah happened, and those people came with their shaved heads, we said 5 came with their heads shaved. And one of them was Abu Dhar al-Ghafari. And you know Abu Dhar al-Ghafari was the actual one who was holding the front of Bibi Fatima's janazah. And you know he's the one who narrates that I saw Imam al-Hassan, Imam al-Hussein on their mother's body. And I saw them crying. Please listen to this line. I saw them crying and crying and crying. And he said, especially I saw the young Hussein on the chest of his mother. And I saw Abu Abdullah crying. He said, when I saw him crying that much, I promise you I saw Ali speaking to Jibreel. And Jibreel telling him, remove Hussein from the chest of his mother. For the angels cannot bear to see Imam al-Hussein crying on the chest of his mother. And that's why the famous poet says, if the angels couldn't bear to see Imam al-Hussein on the chest of his mother, then how did they bear to see Shimr sitting on his chest? But you find that Abu Dhar al-Ghafari was there. He was amongst the loyal ones. With Ahlul Bayt, he remained loyal to all of them. And the narrations, what do they state to us? They state to us that in the time of the first and second caliph, he was quiet. Nor did he take any position. We said Ammar ibn Yasir yesterday, maybe he took a position as the governor of Kufa on the commands of Amir al-Mu'mineen. But Abu Dhar al-Ghafari, the narration state, did not take any position from the first caliph. From the second, but when the third caliph came in, nobody was as outspoken against Uthman ibn Affan like Abu Dhar al-Ghafari. Nobody. Do you know why? Abu Dhar al-Ghafari was thinking, okay, you've taken the leadership of my master. You've taken his leadership, I don't mind. But what's this I see that the Bayt al-Mal, the treasury of the Muslims, is being given to every Tom, Dick and Harry? As in Marwan ibn al-Hakam, do you know how much he received from the Bayt al-Mal under Uthman? 500,000 dinar. Marwan ibn al-Hakam, who Rasulullah kicked out of the Islamic State. Abu Bakr didn't bring him back. Umar didn't bring him back. Uthman brought him back. Abu Dhar saw, he said, what? Marwan ibn al-Hakam gets 500,000 dinar for what? Then he also Harith ibn al-Hakam, 300,000 dinar. Zayd ibn Thabit, 100,000 dinar from the Khums of Africa. One after another, these guys are taking money, one after another. Abu Dhar said, what's all this money that you're giving people? Uthman said, what's it to you? I'm the Khalif of the time and we're giving out money. He said, how dare you give out the money of the Muslims in this way? To people who do not deserve it at all. This money has to be distributed fairly, because whenever you see a poor Muslim country, know that the people at the top aren't distributing. And see also when you see poor followers of Ahlul Bayt, know that the khums isn't being distributed properly. He spoke out. He saw the khums isn't being given properly. He saw the people receiving the khums. When he saw this, what did he say? He came out and he said very clearly. He came out and he said very clearly that Uthman, this will not be allowed. Even he saw Ka'b al-Ahbar. Ka'b al-Ahbar is meant to be a scholar. He said, Ka'b al-Ahbar, I see you're enjoying your time with Uthman, taking all the money in. Uthman, do you know what he did? He exiled him to where? To Syria, next to Muawiyah. If you think here was extravagance, you haven't seen extravagance yet. He got to Muawiyah, he saw Muawiyah, he's looking outside, he sees the Green Palace. Al-Khadra is still in Syria until today, the Green Palace. He sees it. He said, so this is the Khalif, this is the governor of Sham? And he's got a palace that big while there are poor people in the streets? So they said to him, yes. He said, very well, leave this to me. Every morning, he stands outside Muawiyah's house, outside the palace, reciting Surah 9, verse 34. Every morning. He just stands outside there, keeps reciting it. I'm not going to allow that man to rest. They said to him, why? He said, do you know who his mother and father were? In the early days of this religion, when we had just joined, they used to beat us when we were Muslims. His mother chewed the liver of the uncle of Rasulullah. And you allow him to sit like this, taking your money? This man who claims he's a convert to Islam, when the reality is he's one of the tulaqa. He was a freed person on the day of the opening of Mecca. Sayyidah Zainab told Yazid in his palace, "O you whose father was freed by my grandfather." He would stand outside, he'd speak out. Muawiyah would send Amr ibn al-As, go and give him 300 dinar. We'll look after him. He'd say, take your 300 dinar. I'm not taking any of your money. He'd send Abu Darda, give him 300 dinar. Let this man shut up, this old man in his old age. He'd say, take your money back. I'm not taking any of your money. Rasulullah taught me, when you see injustice, speak out. You are an unjust man. If that palace is from your money, it's extravagant. If it's from the Muslims' money, it's illegal. And he kept on speaking. Do you know what Muawiyah did? He exiled him first to Jabal Amil, Lebanon. Today we have many of the followers of Ahlul Bayt from Jabal Amil. One of the greatest places for scholarship in this whole community, the school of Ahlul Bayt. Some of our greatest scholars were from Jabal Amil in Lebanon. Abu Dhar al-Ghafari had been the man who had stood there like a pillar in Jabal Amil. Muawiyah heard that Jabal Amil, all of them are becoming followers of Ahlul Bayt because of Abu Dhar. He said, bring this man back. I put him near my palace, he causes me trouble. I take him somewhere else, he causes me trouble. He said, take him back to Uthman. They said, how? He said, give him a horse. They said, that's it? He said, no, don't give him a saddle. Let him be tortured on a horse without a saddle. Abu Dhar al-Ghafari rides back from Syria all the way to Uthman bin Affan in a horse without a saddle. As in, I wonder about this history, because when you read the narrations we have in some of our books, the books of our brothers in other schools in Islam, everyone's going Jannah. Everyone. As in, all you had to do really was see the Prophet and you're in Jannah. Nothing else. He is going Jannah, and the one who killed him, and the one who tortured him, and the one who spoke out, all of them are in Jannah. Everyone's going to this Jannah. I don't know what's the need for anything else. If everyone's going to go to Jannah for this, then we should all go. You found that when he got to Uthman bin Affan, again, he wouldn't stay quiet. He'd say to him, you've usurped the caliphate, you've given positions back to your family, you've taken from the treasure of the Muslims. Uthman said, the best thing to do to this man is to exile him to a desert. The Rabada desert near Medina. He said, we'll exile him there, and we'll make him and his wife and his daughter and his son starve to death. Brothers and sisters, when we remember the Ahlul Bayt, don't forget their companions. Because you know, Abu Dhar al-Ghafari took his wife, and he took his daughter, and he took his son. And he left with them. And Imam came to welcome him. Imam Amir al-Mu'mineen came to give him the riddance. She came and he spoke to him. Imam said to him, oh Abu Dhar, you only love the truth, and you hate untruth. And tomorrow you'll see who the winner is. People ask, why didn't Imam Ali help Abu Dhar at that time? Because it's the same situation as was before. The same henchmen are sitting in power who have a majority. What do? You fight them, you destroy the religion of Islam. You don't fight, you keep the religion alive. And Abu Dhar al-Ghafari said, Amir al-Mu'mineen, you don't have to talk like that to me. It's my honor to be in a position where I sacrifice speaking for your right. They say Ammar ibn Yasir could not stop crying when Abu Dhar was being exiled. Ammar ibn Yasir, the narrations, if you read them, say Ammar ibn Yasir was on the verge of falling unconscious. Because he could not believe that this Abu Dhar would be left in a desert alone. Do you know what a desert alone means? It means we're going to wait till you die of starvation. And he took his wife, he took his son, he took his daughter. As soon as his wife and his son, on the first day they were there, they died of poisoning of the grass. Because you don't have nothing to eat. So you eat the grass and the weeds, don't you? The one they happened to eat was poisonous, they died. Abu Dhar al-Ghafari, who the Prophet said nothing but truth comes out of his mouth. Abu Dhar al-Ghafari, the Prophet said, the heavens and the earth have never seen a man walk on the grass like Abu Dhar. Abu Dhar al-Ghafari, who Rasulullah said his taqwa is the same as Jesus, son of Mary, is left alone in a desert, left to die alone, until his daughter, she looked at him, she said, Dad, are we on the truth? So he said, yes. She said, then why have they left us alone like this? That my mother is dead and my brother is dead. What have we done wrong to them? Haven't we spoken out? He said, do not worry, my daughter. In this world you may not see it, but in the hereafter the reward will come. Imam Ali bid him farewell. Aqil, the brother of Imam Ali, bid him farewell. Imam al-Hassan bid him farewell. Imam al-Hussein bid him farewell. All of them came and they bid him farewell. And the narration states, Malik al-Ashtar, on the day that Abu Dhar died, his daughter had seen him dead. She wondered, is there anyone who's going to come? He told her, do not worry. My Mawla will make sure there's someone who leads my prayers. Malik al-Ashtar came and he was the one sent by Amir al-Mu'mineen to lead the janazah of Abu Dhar. He finished with the janazah, and had you seen the tears in Malik's eyes? Because he's looking at Abu Dhar and he's thinking, this is what the world done to a person like Abu Dhar, a person who left everything to help this religion, who went back and brought people towards Islam, and he ends up dying here, and Muawiyah ibn Abi Sufyan sits in a palace. In the beginning of this religion, Muawiyah ibn Abi Sufyan was the biggest enemy of the religion, and Abu Dhar was the biggest supporter, and this is what ends up. That's why in this world, don't say, why is the